Alright guys, welcome to another beer review, and don't know why, well I do know why it's taken me such a long time to actually get a review of this done. Mainly because this is so widely available and so easy to get hold of and affordable that it's one of those beers that you can pick up pretty much 365 days of the year. So it's never like a priority to get it reviewed because I know I'll always be able to get a bottle of it. But I picked it up today and I thought I might as well get a review ready and recorded and uploaded because it's an absolute classic. And this to me is like one of the quintessential American craft beers ever, in my opinion. It's definitely the one that really helped me appreciate the world of craft beer, and of course, back in the day, getting into BrewDog, what was available in supermarkets, that sort of thing. And when this came about and I first had it, it just blew me away. It was one of those things where, some beers it takes a little bit getting used to, but from the first ever bottle I had of this, I just fell in love with it, and I loved the brewery. And whenever I get the opportunity to try one of their beers, I'll jump at it. Doesn't matter if it's one of their core range or one of their like limited edition ones, because there's just something about this brewery that I love. The branding that they have, the beers that they do, the beers that I've tried, just like the whole look of the brewery and like what they do, and they're pretty much like self-sufficient, that sort of thing. And it's a real classic. So of course we're going over to the Sierra Nevada brewery, and we are looking at the Pale Ale, clocking in at 5.6% in a 355 milliliter bottle. Don't know why I'm struggling to talk on some of these reviews, but yeah, this American craft beer is a living product, best stored and cold. Enjoy when fresh. I read that completely wrong, but you know what I mean. So I'll quickly read you what it says on the neck label. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is a completely natural ale brewed with the finest malted barley, whole cone hops, brewer's yeast, and pure water. Each bottle is conditioned naturally, creating a unique and flavoured ale. So best before date on this one is 22nd of the 5th, 2018. And of course, being a supermarket beer from the States, you pick it up in varying levels of freshness. And to be honest, I've had some pretty, I've had ones that have passed their best by date. I remember when I was back in Germany, in Beretta, they had like an overstock of this Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. And if you spent like €20 in the shop, you got 4 bottles of this for free. And they were, like a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month past the best before date. And I drank them and they just tasted absolutely fine to me. But that being said, I did have a bottle a few months down the line that was still within its date that didn't really taste too great, so it's probably just a bad bottle. But it's a true American classic. It's a craft beer classic in general. Most countries now that have a craft beer presence, you'll be able to get a bottle of this, and of course you can get it in cans. And like I said, it's one that I've had time and time again, but I've not drank it in quite a while. So that's why when I saw it today in my local bargain booze, part of their 3 for £5 deal, as like I said, easy to get hold of and affordable, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to pick it up, get a review of it, finally recorded, uploaded, and because it is a beer that I have drank plenty of times, a real go-to beer. Well, I say that, I haven't drank it for a while, so it's not exactly a go-to beer, is it? But anyway, let's just get it opened. But beautiful, beautiful artwork with the painted background. I don't know, there's just something like, I don't know how to describe it. Just like classic Americana, almost. And, so handcrafted ale, 5.6%. Let's get it open. Stop wasting time. And see what we get. Of course, there is the awesome Sierra Nevada crown as well. just iconic in every way. And I think you can tell by now that I'm going to enjoy this one. But that being said, I could be pleasantly surprised. I have drank quite a few different beers, different pale ales since last drinking this one, so it might not even stand up to some of the ones that I've had recently. Anyway, that's the beauty of this, isn't it? But beer in a glass, and that's a lovely copper ambery colour. Slight haze in there, a little bit of chill haze as well, because this has not long since been out of the fridge. Very, very active. It's got a lovely glow in this light, it has to be said. But yeah, nice carbonation. Beer poured with about one thing's worth of a white head that died down quite quickly to just a lining. But yeah, it's got that classic American pale ale look to it. So let's see what we get on the aroma. And big, juicy, resiny, slightly tropical tones coming out of this one. It's got that lovely citric edge to it, but not too citrusy. Lovely sort of like jelly sweet Rantries fruit pastel aroma to it. You get that big, big hit of Cascade hop. And to me, this is like the quintessential Cascade beer. It really shows you what a wonderful hop that is. But so recognisable. Yeah, lovely resiny tones as well on the back end. Lovely gentle sweet malts coming through, but it still has that sense of crispness. But yeah, just it's, yeah, as soon as you smell it, you recognise it, and it's such a lovely, comforting, welcoming smell. I mean, in this day and age when we've got all these hop bombs out there, most people would say, oh, it doesn't stand up to the aromas, but this to me just, it's such a classic smelling beer. And it just whets my appetite, seriously. Anyway, let's give it a taste. Cheers. I just love it. I absolutely love this beer. There's like no bells and whistles with it. You know, it's not in your face. It's not, you know, screaming for your attention or anything like that. It's just a simple, classic, well-brewed, hoppy pale ale. This time round, picking up a lot more of a resiny character. Like pine needles, that sort of thing. Lovely citrus tones in there. But it's all about that Cascade hop. I mean, I couldn't really tell you the like characteristics of a lot of hops because I've never really like read up on them. I only recognise them when I see them used in the brew, and after drinking so many brews, you start to pick it up. So, yeah, I'm no expert, never claimed to be. But if you've had loads of beers that have used the Cascade hop, this to me is like, this to me is like the granddaddy of them all. It really, really is. Upper end of medium mouthfeel. That resinous character comes through nicely on the back end, mixed in with that hoppy bitterness. A little bit chewy as well. Leaves a slight oily lining around the inside of your mouth. But at the same time, it's so crisp. It's so refreshing as it is bold. And yeah, it's just such a simple, reliable and dependable American pale ale. It really, really is. And you know, this is like a classic beer. And a lot of breweries and a lot of brewers, chances are they've tried to make their own version of the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. You know, it's up there with like the Steam Anchor Lager, which, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the Steam Anchor Lager, but that's, you know, if that's iconic in its own right. You know, it's up there with like the Founders, these like really established, slightly bigger American craft breweries, Boston Beer Company, Brooklyn. You know, the quintessential breweries that you go to when you're getting into this sort of stuff. And yeah, I've never really noticed how like oily this beer is at times, because it's like got that sort of sheen on it, on the top of it. But yeah, big juicy fruity tones. And it's that like resinous West Coast sort of edge that comes out nicely. It's just a lovely beer. I don't know how anyone can say it's a bad beer. I mean, I know there are people out there who would, let's say, prefer the torpedo from Sierra Nevada to this one, because it is like an amped up version of it. But this, you could drink a bottle of this every day and not get sick of it. You could have, 6-pack of this sat in the back of your fridge. It's cheap, and yeah, in America, God, I shudder to think how many of these get drunk on like a daily basis back in the States. But yeah, now that it's all in there, look how hazy that's gone. Nice little bits and pieces floating around as well. A little bit more bready. My England is suffering, as you can tell. A little bit more bready, a little bit more bolder on the body, now that it's all in there, as you would expect. Slight melony flavour coming out. Lovely sort of like pink grapefruit character, mixed in with that lovely bitterness as well. It's just... I could probably gush about how solid this beer is. And for me personally, in this, the wonderful world of craft beer as it is, with people mixing, putting this in there, like double dry hopping this, going for that New England Merc bomb, like beer slushy sort of thing. I can get 3 of these for £5, and that's gonna satisfy me no end. And like I was saying, it's so bold. And it's got that classic American craft beer flavour to it. And yeah, it's bold, but it's not in your face. It's not trying to be, look at me, I'm the wildest pale ale, wildest pale ale that you'll ever drink. Nothing in your face, just simple but flavourful. And every now and then, that's to me, I'd rather pay the price I paid for this than I would take the risk on like one of these like £6 plus like double dry hopped, Vermont New England style pale ales. Even though they are bloody gorgeous, I love the New England style. I love those really fruity, not really bitter, bold pale ales. But this is just a classic for me, and it's tasting just as good now as it did the first time that I fell in love with this beer. And yeah, I'll be getting this beer a hell of a lot in the future. To me, it's up there, gushing again. But Elvis Juice is a beer that I buy at any opportunity. Pick up a 4-pack of the Elvis Juice, pick up 3 of these for £5. That's like just over £10 worth of beer. That's a good session. Perfect hangout beer. Perfect beer to give to your friends who are not really into this sort of stuff, because there's nothing too in your face. Although, that being said, that resiny edge I'm picking up a lot more now. So that could sort of alienate or potentially sway lesser equipped palates. Not that I've still got a stupid palate, but do you know what I mean? So there's nothing too outrageous. That's it. It's a simplicity. It's accessibility. It's price point. It's availability. It's flavour. Character. And from what I can see, Sierra Nevada are a very conscientious brewery as well. And I know there was that whole story of like AB InBev taking them over. I don't think Sierra Nevada would ever need to go down that route, because they're big enough to sustain themselves and to develop. And thankfully, I've been drinking this beer for 2-3 years, maybe even a little bit longer. Yeah, probably is a bit longer actually. And it's still, to me, a fantastic beer. Anyway, I'm repeating myself. I love this beer. It's a 10 out of 10, and it's one that you will be seeing me drink a hell of a lot more in the future. It's going to take something ridiculous for me to stop drinking this beer, and they've got to start fucking it up royally for them to do that, but I don't think they ever will. I don't think they ever will. Yeah, you're drinking some brewing heritage when you drink a beer like this. And whether you're a casual or if you're a full-time hobbyist, you know, you can't with a straight face say that this is a bad, boring beer. It's just solid, simple, and yeah, 10 out of 10. So of course, I think pretty much all my friends here on BeerTube have reviewed this one, so their reviews are down below. Check out my Sierra Nevada playlist. Check out Sierra Nevada. Check out my Pale Ale playlist as well. And yeah, are you a fan of this beer? Are you a fan of Sierra Nevada? What are your favourite Sierra Nevada beers? The usual sort of stuff in the comments. And yeah, more importantly, I hope you guys will join me next time for another beer review. So yeah, it's a long one, but a beer like this deserves it. So thank you guys for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers, guys.